So when do you actually start feeling like a soldier and not a civilian? So today I'm going to talk to you guys about whenever you join the Army, at what point do you actually start to feel like a soldier? So you've been a civilian your entire life, and the entire purpose of basic training is to transform you from a civilian to a soldier. But the question here is, when do you actually start to feel that change? When do you actually feel like you're a soldier and not just yourself, right? So that's a question that I want to talk to you guys about today. It is also something that I mentioned and brought up in a live stream that I did last week, I think. And if you missed my live streams, you should check those out. I do them normally on the weekends, no specific time, but you know, if you turn on those notifications, you will find out about them. But anyway, so I covered that in that video, and I thought it was it's pretty interesting to me. And it's something that you kind of think about, and it's something that I thought about before I had joined the Army, because the Army is so different than the civilian world. I didn't really know what to expect whenever I joined, but I did know that it was going to be so far beyond different than the civilian world that it was just kind of like a crazy thing. And then I remember the day before talking to my friend, actually it was the morning of whenever I was leaving for reception before my recruiter came to pick me up in my apartment. I ran into one of my good old friends, and we talked for a few minutes, and we were like, dang, I'm about to leave for basic training, it's gonna change me as a person. And I remember him just being like, dang, you're gonna be a soldier. And to me, I'm like, heck yeah, I'm gonna be a soldier. It's pretty cool, right? So you go through reception and you go through basic training and you get the uniform, right? So around, the first thing at reception, you're gonna get your Army APFTU uniform, whatever, your PT uniform. You're gonna get that at reception the first day, right? Then around day 2 or 3 or whatever, you're gonna get your OCP uniform and your boots. So you're gonna have the full get up, you're gonna have your name tape and everything, you're gonna have your rank on. But is that the point when you actually feel like a soldier? I will say that putting the uniform on for the first time, for me, it was the ACUs, the digital pattern. When I put those things on for the first time, when all of me and my buddies, we put those things on the first time, we felt pretty legit, right? We're like, dang, this is what we've been wanting to do for the longest time. We have been, in some cases, a year leading up to joining the Army. For me, it was 3 months, and you don't have the uniform. You're wanting to join the military, and just seeing people in uniform is a crazy thing. Once you get out of basic training and AIT and stuff like that, and you're in your uniform and you just go walk around anywhere, you could go to Walmart, you could just go pick something up real quick, people look at you different. They look at you like you're essentially almost like a superhero. No matter what job you have, a lot of civilians think you basically have saved the world, okay? And people just look at you different when you're in uniform. And I remember putting the uniform on for the first time, and it kind of made me feel really cool. I was like, yeah, I'm wearing this thing, it looks super legit. I got the boots on, because the day we got, I think, our ACU uniforms on day 2, I believe, of reception. Specifically, if you missed my what reception was like video, I covered that specifically there. But it wasn't until the next day that we actually got the boots, right? So the Army issued boots that you get, and so we had the full setup that we were wearing. And putting those boots on felt pretty legit, right? But it felt cool, but I knew, and my buddies knew, we didn't feel like soldiers. We didn't feel like we deserved to wear the uniform yet, right? So we're wearing the uniform, but we didn't feel like soldiers yet. So that was at reception. Then for me, 8 days later, I get to basic training. And you get to basic training, you go through that whole shark attack and everything, and you get through red phase. You're starting to be broken down. You're starting to be physically and mentally exhausted from these drill sergeants. You're starting to pay a little bit more attention to, or be more accustomed to, this whole military lifestyle. It's starting to be a little bit more of who you are, right? So the reception is kind of like a shock, right? It's like a shock factor thing. You're not going to get much sleep the first night. There's these drill sergeants, people treat you like crap. Then you get to basic training, and it's another shock. You get the shark attack. Drill sergeants are yelling at you all the time. You're doing all these things, but you don't really feel like a soldier yet, right? So one of the things that I want to hit on in this video, and the main thing I want to get across to you guys, is whenever you get to basic training and reception, everybody that you are with, every single one of you guys, you're all civilians at that point, okay? And then when you're going through this process of basic training, you're all changing, okay? It's just, without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to change in some shape or form, right? You're going to have some traits bringing out in you or whatever. Some things are going to become better, some things might be worse or whatever. But for the most part, you are going to be more militarized. You are going to become a soldier through this whole basic training process. But the thing that you don't really think about, at least I didn't really think about too much, is you're going through this whole process with other civilians that are going through the exact same changes as you. And when you're in this basic training environment, you are cut off from the rest of the world. You don't have, you know, your technology, your cell phones all the time. You'll have them, you know, a couple times for, you know, phone calls home or whatever. You can get on, check your Instagram and Snapchat and all that stuff, and watch my videos if you want to, which would be awesome. If somebody commented on a video who was currently at basic training, that would be awesome. I have had people comment who are at reception, and good luck to all you guys. But you're not going to have your phones. You're going to be cut off from the entire civilian world, especially if you're at Fort Benning, because it's a whole nother section of the post. But yeah, so you're going to be cut off from everybody, and you're going to be going through this basic training, and the whole time you're changing, but you don't realize it yet. And for me, the moment when you realize, wow, I'm a soldier now, like I'm not the same as I used to be, and that is Family Day and graduation. Those 2 days are the days where you really realize that you're a different person. Your family is going to realize that you are a different person. You're still you, like I'm still Matt, but I am not the same Matt that I was 3 years ago. I'm so different now, as far as my dedication, my work ethic, my outlook on life. I look at life so different. I look at people different. I look at things and privileges and all this stuff so different. And it's just a different feeling, right? So you're going through this whole process and you're around soldiers, okay? You've been with all these civilians, and you, along with all of them, have transformed into soldiers. And it's not until you are around civilians, right? It's not until you're around like normal people that you actually get to, you know, on like graduation day or whatever, go off post. Because on Family Day you have to stay on post, but on graduation day, since you're actually graduated, you can go off a post. And for me, being around my family, seeing other civilians going to the mall and like looking at people and their outfits, and what to me before, just a few months before, I thought like that was normal. But going through basic training and then going to a mall, I realized that that normal isn't normal to me anymore, right? The way that I used to talk to people is not the way that I talk to people now, okay? The way that people view me is not the same way that people view me before. It's just different. So you're going through this process, and again, you don't realize it. You don't realize how much you have changed, how much people won't realize how much you have changed until you are around them, because the military is the military. And when you take a military person and you put them in a civilian setting, into a civilian environment, people notice a difference. People notice that you are different, and that is when you actually feel like a soldier to me. It is not until you are around other civilians that you actually feel like a soldier after basic training. Because even blue phase, right? And I'm not saying I don't feel like a soldier unless I'm around other civilians now, but it's just a comparison of before and after, because you're going through it and you just don't realize really how much you're changing until you see, like, you get to compare and you're like, wow, I've really changed. Like, I am a soldier, like I have accomplished this thing. Because basic training graduation it's the biggest thing I've ever accomplished in my life. Going through that, succeeding in basic training and doing well, and then graduating, being able to call myself a soldier, is like the biggest thing I've ever accomplished in my life. It's awesome. It's the biggest thing. A lot of people in the military will say that just joining the military in general and making it through that process is one of their biggest accomplishments. And on graduation day, you really kind of feel that. And for me, myself, and I know some other people, you don't feel that I'm a soldier until that day. And you know, Blueface, the days before, you don't really feel like it because you haven't completed basic training. You haven't completed the process that you have to go through to become a soldier. So like, if you quit during basic training, you're not a soldier, right? You have to make it through basic training, and that graduation, you're just like, dang, I'm a soldier now, blah, blah, blah. And then you hang out with other civilians. Maybe you go home and you have the chance after basic training to go home or at AIT, and then you get around your friends and you're just like, I'm not the same. And it's not like a bad thing. I'm not just saying like, oh, you're just never gonna be the same again. I'm just saying it's a little different, and you don't feel like you are a soldier until you can kind of compare the differences between what you used to be and what you are now. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just something I wanted to talk about, something I thought was pretty interesting. And if you enjoyed it, hitting that like button would be awesome. If you have any questions about basic training or the military in general, if you're a family member wanting to, you know, ask me about something that your family member is going through, feel free to do that. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. The links are in the description if you don't already. And if you'd like to stick around for some more videos of mine in the future, hitting that subscribe button would be awesome. And I will see you guys later.